Welcome back to my Transport Beaver 2 series. Carrying on from last episode, we're following the new iron line down through Auckland's cargo hub, and we're on our way down to the new Kendal steel mill. The steel mill wanted to be deleted, and I had to very quickly get that up and running to save it from being replaced. And while that happened, I also had the chemical factory down here do the same thing. So I did get distracted last episode, and I had to do a lot of work down here. And so we're just arriving down here now. You can see the goods factory, I believe, just to the left here. And that's now up and running. But it needed plastics from the chemical factory here, which wanted to be replaced. So that's got oil being distributed to it. And these trucks are running oil and plastics backwards and forwards to have the goods factory up and running. And this is where this depot also receives the coal for the steel mill. Here's our coal mine here, running at basically at full capacity. Just over the hill here, we have a second coal mine, which is running at almost full capacity, but it will need, we'll put another truck on here just to take in that extra capacity, which it'll obviously do shortly. So this road runs across the hills here and into this depot, and this is the Kendal Steel Hub, which is handling the iron, the coal, and the steel for the steel mill here, and it's running at capacity as well. So down here at Kendal, there's been a huge change with this new huge Kendal station here, which used to sit in here in town, but I've moved the station out further, giving enough room for these passenger terminal, which is super busy. This is going to need some more buses on it, on Kendal 2 line, which is the green bus, I believe. Yes, the red's on that side, the green's on the other. So let's throw a few extra buses on here straight away. 3. That should help that line a little. Look how many passengers are moving in and out of this station. Very busy area here. Watch out, people. Trucks coming through. Oh, not too many fatalities there. So this is a very busy station. This is our original lines of our crude line and our tools line. Also brings the planks down for the tools. And then it extends further to the south. We'll head down there and have a look in a minute, but this station is so busy now. It's not just tools here, there's food here and there's steel here. I've got a little bit of space here I could use for some extra warehouse space. So let me just see what I can squeeze in here. Yeah, there and there. Yeah, I can put 2 in here. Okay, and that should clean up this area a little. Yeah, it does. It restacks it, and you can see that I will need to deal with the capacity of these lines. What are we dealing with here? We're dealing with I think this is the planks and tools line, and now also has a heap of food on it. So, and there's a lot of tools built up there, and this is all being transported up to Auckland. And then from Auckland, it also goes up to the new Staines hub that we just built. And I'll need to put another train on there for sure, for certain. Let's just head back up to the Kendall hub. See, it's on the way back here, it's picking up goods that are here, and it's also topping off with any steel that can fit on the train after picking up the planks. So this line is handling a lot of goods now. Yeah. So I will extend the warehousing space here as well, because when we leave here, this might start to fill up. And so we want a lot of capacity here, just in case, you know. I'd like to make the line so efficient that I don't need that warehousing space, but in the meantime, we should just play it safe. So there's our iron train dropping off. We've just had oil dropped off here, and so the trucks are picking up the oil and taking it up to the chemical factory, bringing the plastics back down, and then the and then the goods can be distributed out of the steel hub. So we've got goods coming into here as well. That's our iron train heading back up north, which is good. We have a steel train arriving here. I'll explain what's happening with the steel in a minute. See, because it's a little complicated. But the iron that's coming from north is being dropped off here. But the coal across the road is not actually going into this steel mill. The coal is going to a different steel mill. And the steel from this steel mill is actually distributing out of here, and there's other steel coming in from our second steel mill. So it's a little complicated, but I'll show it to you in a minute. But essentially we're running two steel mills now, and they're kind of complementing each other. So we've got so here's our planks and tools line. It's just carrying a small amount of boxcars here, and we need I don't have a depot in this area anymore, a train depot, to get a new train on that line. So how about we put one in down the end of this line. Okay, this should be an easy fix. We'll just extend a track out from the station, and that will let me link into multiple lines down here and service this whole area, because I will be putting more trains on multiple lines here. Does that work? Yeah. And we'll connect in the crude line. I don't think I need more trains on that line, but we'll just link it in on that side, and we can also link it in onto this 4-track line here as well. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, well, that's filling up quite fast, that cargo space here. So let's get one on straight away here. Just thinking, what sort of a train do I want to put on this line? I don't want to copy it. I prefer to make a new train here. So we'll go with should we try something different here? We've got some, that's what we've been using. But we've got the Russian class. We've got some modded engines that are in here as well that are now available. We've got the D5300 and we've got the Class 44s. Let's try, well, we've got the GP9 as well. I really like that engine, but I've got some mods here that I've never really tried before, so let's go with the let's try these engines here for the 5300. They do 121. They don't have a lot of power though. Only have 1100 power. So we might make this a full boxcar train. Might try something new here. What about this one? It's got a weight of 30,000 kilos though. That's a very heavy car. I don't think that works well with this engine probably. We should go with, let's go with this car here. This box car's only 18,000 kilos and it's going to be a 320 long train. So it's going to be a lot of weight here. That should allow me to squeeze in the other engine as on the other side. And we'll buy that for, oh God, that's a lot of money, but we're cashed up at the moment. We put this on the planks line, there. And I'm not sure how this will go, but let's give it a try. There's a train waiting in there, filling up, so it's not going to come out yet. That's pretty bumpy ground there in front of us. Let's he's going to come out in a second. Let's just quickly take the opportunity to smooth this area down. Yeah, that works well. Smooth that down. Smooth, smooth, smooth. That looks better. There we go. Okay, here she is. She's coming out. It's a little bit high there. It's dropping down into the station, which isn't too bad, I guess. It looks good. I like this engine. And I like these boxcars that go with it. They're just base game boxcars. The boxcars aren't anything special, but I don't usually use these ones. She's still coming out of the engine shed, so she's going pretty slow. But this should deal with our tools and food that's sitting there in the warehousing space. And a couple of trips backwards and forwards with this train should probably clear that out. And as we take our tour down to the south, this train should solve our problem for us. Here we go. She's finally out of the engine shed. All the doors open and she's filling up. And we're on our way. You can see how busy this area is. It's okay. So we got a whole heap of tools on and 78 food, and we're heading to Auckland Cargo. We'll have a little bit of stacking here because that train took a little while to come out of the train depot. But I think the existing trains are handling the planks and the construction materials and the steel, but it's just not handling the goods that are on the line for the boxcar. So this should really solve that problem. So these trains head, up to Auckland, and then on the way back, they also pick up the goods from the goods factory here and drop them off at Kendal. So that'll help with that issue of the goods coming out of here as that builds up as well. We're only doing 65 coming out of there. It is struggling with the weight of the at 320 meters long. So top speed will probably hit around about 80 as we get up the top up here. I guess that's a little slower than what the other engines are doing that we're using. Probably a little slower. That's not too bad, I guess. So we've got a lot of goods here waiting to go back down south, and logs from the north have actually been dropped off here, and they're now being trucked into the planks, into the sawmills. Okay, so we're unloading, and we're picking up goods on the way back as well. So I might need to look at that and see what's going on there. Okay, back at Kendal, and we can see that the warehouse has cleared out a lot, and the city has expanded to be huge. It's getting all of its supplies. Well, it's got some of all of them. It's not getting the maximum that it wants. But this is looking a lot better now. I'm much happier with that outcome of the new boxcar train that's on that line. So that's what the rest of the south looks like. Bit of a sneak peek there. We'll venture down this way. That's a goods train coming up from Fordwich. It's on a coal line, but it's actually a goods train running that same route, and it's bringing food up from Fordwich actually. So what do we have down here? This is our coal. This is there's two coal mines down here, and the coal train that takes coal down to here, on the way back, it picks up coal, and this is the coal that's going up to Kendal. So here's the coal train here, and it takes coal down to the Fordwich steel mill, and it picks up coal on the way back. So it's basically running full for most of the time between the two. And like I said, it's a little complicated, but effectively the Kendal coal is supplying Fordwich, and the Fordwich coal is supplying Kendal, if that makes sense. And what she was just waiting for a green light. She's good. We've got new demand in Auckland now. That'll be its 5th and 6th demands, which will be opening up now. Okay, this is a food line running up to Kendall, but it's also carrying fuel back down to Fordwich. Fordwich hasn't actually been receiving any fuel from our fuel line up there, but it is now bringing some back. Okay, this is our steel cargo hub here down at Fordwich. And where's the steel mill? This is the steel mill here. It gets its coal from Kendall. It gets its iron locally, and then it sends its steel up to the goods factory up at Kendall. So the goods factory up at Kendall gets this steel, and the goods factory that's down here gets the Kendall steel. So here's the second goods factory here, and it's not running at capacity yet because most of the goods are coming from Kendall to supply everywhere, but this is supplying some goods. This is our start farm, and it's no longer a truck line. It picks up the grain here on the iron line. So the iron is coming down here and picking up the grain and bringing it back to the town here. So here is our 2 iron mines, and they're running at capacity. Should be. Yeah, both are running at capacity. And so down here it's filling up with the iron, taking it to Fordwich steel mill. Another train sitting there waiting to fill up. Probably needs some signal work down here. So here's our original food factory, and I can get the grain from here that just gets picked up on the way back, and it also picks up food from this cargo hub. This used to be trucked through town over to the other side of town, but instead now this grain gets delivered just to here, jumps onto this train, so that instead of the iron train going back empty, it's picking up food at this stop and at the next stop and drops it off at the food factory at Fordwich. And Fordwich is expanding very quickly now because a lot of goods are being delivered over here as well, and that's meant that we need a passenger line here. So we've connected the passenger line through down to Fordwich, and it's busy enough. It will get busier because this is fairly new. Yeah, nowhere near as much traffic as somewhere like Kendall or Staines, but it's got a lot of room to expand. This line it's okay. It's only 20 people. That's fine. But yeah, as you can see, there's plenty of room for expansion on this side. All the buses are working well. No overcrowding. Let's jump on this train, and we'll follow this. It's got a road connection as well alongside it. So this is our passenger train, which runs all the way from Fordwich all the way up to Staines, and its next stop is Alsager. So we've hooked in Alsager to the passenger line as well, and they have road connections as well. And while they're not running at capacity down this end of the line like they are for most of the rest of the line, they're not doing too bad. 100 passengers in and out. And we're cruising along here at 100. That little combi there is cruising, isn't it? He's doing 100 k's. Catching him though. So it is quicker to catch the train than take the combi van. And I really like this area, this cargo line crossover, because we've got a whole heap of oil around here. I'm not sure if you remember, but there was a lot of crude oil and an oil refinery in this area, and so we're linking into that as well. But this is Alsager passenger terminal. We've got a decent amount of people waiting here. So this little town is really starting to expand as well. Yeah, see 130, 100, 140, 145 people just jumped on there. So this little town is humming along nicely now. It's got its own passenger terminal here, which is no overcrowding there at all. This is just really starting to get going. But there's some big numbers of passengers coming in and out of here now. And you'll notice from most of my towns, they don't have any traffic anymore. So there is a little bit of traffic on the connecting roads. We've got plenty of room for expansion here as well. No overcrowding on the buses. So this town, it's got some room for expansion as well. And just behind us here is the crude line that's down here. There's two crude factories here. Now, this train is running the Alsager oil train. So this is really just bringing the oil from the oil refinery up to Kendal, because Kendal needs oil for the chemical factory. So all that oil that was sitting there at the chemical factory, it's coming from down here, because our crude and fuel line up at Auckland, that's already running at capacity. Here we've got a little grain line that's running through here, little grain train. It's not making any money. I put this in for something a little different. I wasn't expecting a lot of capacity. I thought that that most of the food would come from Fordwich, because that was already up and running. But we've got a second food production over here, just north of Alsager. It it links into a couple of farms here at Alsager as well, and it takes a little bit of a roundabout trip here along the line. And instead of cutting through the town, it sort of goes around the town on the oil lines there. That's the food production just there. And back in the distance, we've actually got logs into planks, and the planks come into this cargo station just north of Alsager. And the planks come in here because we're producing food here, but the planks are needed for the machine parts. So we'll drop off the grain, and she'll run back empty. There's nothing heading back, but I think this train probably needs an upgrade, to be honest. So this here is our machine parts, which need steel and planks, and it's getting plenty of planks locally, but the steel is going to be coming from Kendal Steel Mill. And so Kendal Steel Mill is supplying here, and it's also supplying the goods factory down at Fordwich. We've got plenty of expansion here in the north. And like I said, we've got sort of a lot of goods that can now come into here to help with that expansion, but it's not really receiving them yet. It's just, I noticed, just got its first deliveries of some of its demands. We've got a lot of goods there waiting to be picked up here. Now this is the little planks train. Again, this one should be okay though, because it's just running a small amount of planks into here. We need some more steel here. And we need more goods trains here as well. What do we got? Oh, here's our delivery of steel. That's come in from Kendall Steel. And it shouldn't be taking anything back with it. And I can't make another one of those? Damn. Okay, I need to put could put one in here. I need a depot. The oil is running fully at capacity. Then on the inside line here, this is the crude line. It's picking up crude here, and that's running at capacity. And then it goes over my little bridge here. Did I say I like this bridge? Look, I really do like this bridge. It's just a default in-game bridge, but it's just got something about it that I think it just fits this area quite nicely. It's sort of, it's not quite even. It's raised on this side, because this is up on the hillside here, and that works quite well. And then it drops right down. Drops right down over the other side, and that's the passenger train we rode into town on. Yeah, so the crude line runs on the inside line here, and the oil train is express oil to the, we're running at capacity here as well. That's excellent. And then we've got a couple of farms up here. It's getting there. Yeah, they're running at capacity, but they just need to be delivered. Oh, we're full here, and that's a problem. That's an issue because 400 sitting on the platform. Okay, let's get some warehouse space straight away to solve that problem, and then we'll deal with that little grain train that's running backwards and forwards. We'll leave a space there just in case I want to put an actual building there that links into something in the future. Yeah, so our passenger line splits over to there, and let's go and find this little grain train. Where are you? You should be coming back empty. There you are. Okay. Now, I didn't really think about the capacity when I put this train in. It's not that we could have multiple of these, but they're running this line very slowly. And it's like on a single line all by itself. So if I put a second train on there, I will have to really adjust the line. But for now, if I just upgrade the train, and what I mean by a single line is like it's just running backwards and forwards on the same line. Let's try the class 44. This has got heaps more grunt. This has got 2,300 power. So you know, pulling a whole heap of these gondolas full of grain will be really heavy. So we can run the heavy cars 20,000 or 30,000 kilos. We won't need to run the little lighter This is the best one. I like this one the best. So it's not the most heaviest car, but we'll run a full 320 meters of this with a second engine. Yeah. That should make a huge difference. So she was running at probably 80 Ks, but she can now do 121. So she'll get backwards and forwards quicker. Effectively, having this train will be the same as having two of those little trains probably. Why is that train carrying planks back? That train should not be carrying some planks back to Kendal. That's the steel train that I really need to double up. There's a goods train running the goods from Kendal to Alsager. That's good. There's goods moving there. And I just want to probably just check to see what's happening with this grain. I don't usually like to run a train backwards and forwards on a single line, but it's not sharing this line with anyone, so it can do that, but it'll need a little bit of work if I put a second train on this line, I think. Filling up. Nice. Okay, that's better, right? So if I put a cargo, sorry, a train, not a road depot, I need a train depot. If I put a train depot here, that will service this line and kind of this area. It'll be able to cross over onto the goods line as well. That looks all right. I think that's level. It's hard to tell sometimes. Yeah, that's okay. And we can just link into here. And if we go and grab this train, I don't know that I need a second one, but let's put a second one on there anyway. Yeah, okay. That should handle whatever whatever they need. Okay. Seems to be working better, I would say. And everything seems to be running smoothly along here. Here's our steel train. So I should be able to put a second steel train on here. Yeah, because there's a crossover there. Okay, we've got an issue with this train. I just noticed that the platform along these stations, along this line, are actually 240 meter platforms. And I created this train at 320. So if I bring it down to under 240, I had to wait for the train to come back empty. Now it is 320 on the other side, but this station needs to be expanded, and I will probably do that. But this train here was overextended. And it kind of got stuck. I had to tell it to leave and get out of there so that I could fix the problem. And so I'm just thinking these ones are 320. These stations are 240 along this line here. That one looks like 320. This one here is definitely 320. And we still need more. Oh, damn. We need more goods line on here. But in the meantime, more warehousing space is required. Put a couple down this end. It'll solve the problem for now. Again, as I get more trains on these lines, it won't be an issue in the future, but this will solve the issue for now in the meantime. Might as well fill this all the way up. Need the other one there. Yeah. Okay, that solves that problem. But I did put another goods train on this line. It just hasn't arrived yet. And we've kind of got, what have we got here? We've got 2 goods trains already on this line. Just thinking. Should I put a 3rd one on there? Or should I wait for... look, just put a 3rd one on there now. Yeah, here comes our 320 meter train. Yeah, she fits in here fine, but on the other side, it needs a fix. So grain coming in, planks coming in. That planks line is running better now. Right. Now we can adjust this train so that it's down to 240, just like the other one, 11 cars. And if these 2 trains can handle the demand, then I'll just leave them like this. But if they can't, then I'll extend the platform out and add the cars back in again later. But I'm hoping for a goods train here, yes. So this is the goods train from Kendall, and it's bringing everything that Alsager needs, which is tools, goods, and food. Why is it bringing food? I'll look at that later. What we do need is another train on this line. Yes, we got 3. I already put the extra train on. We got 3. But there's a lot of goods moving between these two towns. Let's not mess around. Let's just put another train on this line, and we'll call that an episode. That should all be fixed up. The grain line's fixed, the goods line is fixed, and the steel line is fixed. All right. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great day. If you're still here, why don't you hit the like button?